Trauma fundamentally alters the way individuals perceive and interact with the world, hijacking the very process of choice and shaping their perceptions. This is a critical point, often misunderstood, requiring precise explanation. The core principle lies in understanding that choice requires a pause. This pause, in turn, necessitates regulation of the nervous system. However, trauma disrupts this delicate balance, effectively removing the pause. So, what exactly happens when the nervous system detects a threat, whether real or remembered? The survival brain, the primal part responsible for immediate action, comes online. Simultaneously, the thinking brain, responsible for reflection and nuanced thought, partially goes offline. Its functions diminish to prioritize immediate survival. Blood flow shifts away from areas supporting reflection, favoring speed over accuracy. It's crucial to understand that this isn't merely psychology. It's fundamental physiology. Under trauma activation, perception undergoes a significant narrowing. The nervous system prioritizes fast pattern recognition, seeking known outcomes. It favors familiar strategies, clinging to predictability over accuracy in assessing the present. This means ambiguity feels inherently dangerous, triggering a threat response. Complexity feels overwhelming and threatening. As the system seeks simplicity for survival, even slowness feels unsafe, as the need for immediate action dominates. Consequently, the system doesn't ask, "What is true now?" Instead, it defaults to the question, "What worked before?" This is how choice gets hijacked, its pathways rerouted by the trauma response. Choice requires multiple options to be visible at once, allowing for evaluation. It demands time to evaluate these options thoughtfully and deliberately. Crucially, it necessitates the ability to tolerate uncertainty, to navigate the unknown. But trauma collapses these multiple options into a single, desperate mode: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. These are the automatic responses. These reactions are not chosen. They are instinctive, hardwired into the survival mechanism. When people later reflect and ask, "Why did I do that again?" the answer lies in understanding that the body chose before the mind could even process. Here's a key piece. When internal regulation drops, external authority feels safer. Certainty, even if false, feels calming in the face of inner turmoil. Strong voices, regardless of their intent, override internal sensing and intuition. This explains why trauma correlates with obedience or rebellion, both reactions to dysregulation. It also sheds light on black and white belief systems, offering rigid structure. Susceptibility to manipulation increases as the individual seeks external guidance. Difficulty trusting one's own perception arises, undermining self-reliance. This isn't due to ignorance, but because the system is desperately trying to stabilize itself. Trauma loops occur because the body doesn't mark the original event as complete. Similar cues, even subtle ones, reactivate the traumatized state, triggering old responses. The reaction often feels out of nowhere, disconnected from the present context. The present becomes contaminated by the past, blurring the lines between then and now. The body isn't merely remembering what happened, it's remembering how it felt. The emotional imprint remains, driving behavior in ways that seem irrational. It is very important to note that this is not a failure of the individual. People in trauma states are not unaware, weak, or broken. They are not lacking truth or inherently flawed in any way. They are overriding conscious choice to preserve survival, a testament to resilience. Before we continue, let's anchor this understanding firmly in place. Trauma does not remove free will entirely, stripping away agency. Instead, it delays access to it, creating a temporary barrier to conscious choice. Free will returns when the nervous system can pause again, when regulation is restored. It is a process of reclaiming agency, of regaining control over one's responses. Understanding this is crucial for fostering compassion and effective healing. By recognizing the physiological and neurological underpinnings of trauma, we can move beyond judgment and towards informed support. This knowledge empowers us to create environments that promote safety and regulation, facilitating the return of choice and the restoration of well-being. It is a journey of understanding, healing, and ultimately, empowerment. This path allows individuals to reclaim their lives from the grip of trauma and to live fully in the present moment, free from the constraints of the past. As trauma locks the body into survival mode, The hijacking of choice creates a reliance on external authority and certainty. When internal regulation diminishes, strong voices and black and white belief systems become appealing as stabilizing forces. This susceptibility to manipulation and difficulty trusting one's own perception are not due to ignorance, but rather the system's attempt to regain equilibrium. Trauma loops perpetuate this cycle, as similar cues reactivate the initial trauma state, contaminating the present with the past. The body remembers the feeling of the trauma, not just the event itself. Imagine a soldier flinching at a car backfiring, mistaking it for gunfire. His body is reliving the war, even if his mind knows he's safe. This is the power of trauma's imprint. It is crucial to understand that individuals in trauma states are not weak or broken, but rather prioritizing survival by overriding choice. They are doing what they need to do to stay alive, even if it doesn't make sense to others. Consider a child who learns to appease an abusive parent to avoid punishment. This fawning response becomes automatic, a survival strategy ingrained in their nervous system. Even as an adult, they may find themselves instinctively people-pleasing, even when it's detrimental to their own well-being. This isn't a character flaw. It's a deeply ingrained survival mechanism. Trauma delays access to free will, which returns when the nervous system can pause and regulate once more. Think of it like a dimmer switch. When trauma is triggered, the light of free will dims, making it harder to see and access choices. But as the nervous system calms and regulates, the light gradually brightens, restoring access to the full spectrum of choice. The goal is not to eliminate the survival responses entirely, as they can be life-saving in genuinely dangerous situations. Instead, we aim to expand our window of tolerance. This creates more space for conscious decision-making and thoughtful responses. This involves learning to recognize the signs of dysregulation within ourselves. It also requires developing coping mechanisms to soothe and regulate the nervous system when it's activated. These mechanisms could include deep breathing exercises, mindfulness practices, or gentle movement. Cultivating self-compassion is also essential for navigating the challenges of living with trauma. It means treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially when we make mistakes. By understanding the impact of trauma on choice, we can approach ourselves and others with greater empathy and wisdom. We can recognize that seemingly irrational behaviors are often rooted in a deep-seated need for safety and survival. Imagine someone snapping at a loved one for a minor inconvenience. This reaction might seem disproportionate, but it could be triggered by a past trauma. The person may be unconsciously reliving a time when they felt unsafe or powerless, and we can support the healing process by fostering environments of safety, connection, and empowerment. This means creating spaces where people feel seen, heard, and validated. It also means empowering individuals to make choices that align with their values and needs. Ultimately, this restores access to free will and promotes healing. It's about creating a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive, regardless of their past experiences. Consider a support group for survivors of domestic violence. In this safe space, individuals can share their stories, connect with others who understand their experiences, and learn coping mechanisms to manage their trauma symptoms. The group provides a sense of community and belonging, which can be incredibly healing. It also empowers survivors to reclaim their lives and make choices that support their well-being. This is the power of trauma-informed care. It's about recognizing the impact of trauma on individuals and communities and creating systems and environments that promote healing and resilience. It's a shift from asking, "What's wrong with you?" to "What happened to you?" This simple question can make a world of difference. It acknowledges the pain and suffering that individuals have experienced, and it opens the door to compassion and understanding. By understanding the impact of trauma, we can create a more just and equitable world for all, a world where everyone has the opportunity to heal and thrive, a world where free will is not a privilege, but a right, a world where everyone feels safe, connected, and empowered. This is the vision that guides our work. This is the hope that sustains us. And this is the future we are working to create. A future where trauma no longer dictates our choices. A future where we are all free to live our lives to the fullest.